just getting back from Juarez, Mexico. And I'll tell you something I want you to know. My poor head is aching, it throbs and it twirls from drinking tequila and teasing the girls. Don't get me wrong, because I'm not complaining. I have no regrets, I am only explaining for all of you fellows that ain't had the thrill of drinking tequila and...
Ooh, shit. How's it going, everybody? It's that time of week again. Another episode of the Modern Maverick Podcast. Episode number 9. I am your host, the Modern Maverick himself, Stephane Paulin. And my co-host to my left, J-Flynn, the Manic Mouth.
What's up, man?
How's it going?
Good.
Just before we quick shout out before I give it before we get started here. A little shout out to Sherbatov MMA, my gym of choice for the past few years, and just a quick shout out if you guys are looking, to do any sorts of martial arts. They do boxing, Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, wrestling. They have a great workout area for weights and anything strength and conditioning. Check them out. They're on Shomedy, corner of the 440 and Shomedy. Check them out. Their website, sherbatovmma.com, I believe. And check them out. Great pricing. Drop by their new location now for the past few months. Great location. And great coaches, great guys, great environment to train. Respectful environment, and been training there for a few years, and I love it. Great coaches and everybody there, and a lot of people training there. And so if you're looking for any type of martial arts, just to get in shape or anything, check them out. Sherbatov MMA in Laval.
First class is free too, right?
First class is free. Yeah, sorry. Thank you. First class is free. If you want to try, just give it a try. You want to try the Muay Thai, you give it a try. You can check their schedule on their website. You can also check their Facebook page, but they have their schedule on their website. First class is free. You try it out. You don't like it, you don't come back, but I guarantee you're going to love it. So check it out, Sherbatov MMA. What's up, man?
Well, speaking of which, week 2 for me at Sherbatov.
Yeah.
Muay Thai. Man, that stuff is intense.
Muay Thai is...
Holy crap.
So for people out there, Mr. Flynn this morning took his first Muay Thai class at Sherbatov MMA. He did the MMA class last week, which was hard, but a bit more relaxed.
Yeah, nothing compared to the cardio.
Muay Thai
workout.
class is a bit more cardio oriented, because you drill for longer times, 3-minute rounds a lot of the times, and we did sprints today, which we don't always do. So don't get an impression that this is always do, but we do sprints once in a while where you get on the back for 15 seconds nonstop, jab right, and what we went down, and it gets even for a guy like me, at the end we did, I don't know how many rounds, we did a lot of different combos, and I was tired.
Yeah.
I was tired. So I can imagine for a beginner, somebody that's just starting out, it's rough. But you push through, and I was impressed, and you pushed through, and you got it done.
To be honest, when I took that first bathroom/vomit break, I was wondering, I'm like, am I going to be able to make it back to the class? But yeah,
it's good. At first, you can't. When you start off, you got to find out where you're at, and you can't, like, if you don't feel comfortable, you feel lightheaded or anything, you got to stop. It's okay. But after you've been there for a while, you push yourself. Your body get used to it, and those bathroom/vomit breaks will be a thing of the past.
Fewer and further between. Yeah.
The warm-ups are. Depending on the days, but we do an intense 15-minute warm-up / drills and stuff to get you sweating.
/ and I'll be camp.
Yeah. It's a bit death campish, but it gets you ready, and then we normally work techniques. Muay Thai, I do Muay Thai a few times a week. Saturdays are mostly oriented against, sometimes we do a lot of bad work. Sometimes we'll do some sparring drills. It just happens today. We ended up on the bag for most of the class, which, nonstop for a lot of and intense. It was really intense. And that was the point. That's what our coach wanted. And, there's a few newbies. You weren't the only one there. There's a few new faces that I hadn't seen before. And it's good to see classes are getting bigger and people seem to be coming back. There's a few faces I've seen in the past few weeks where they, like, a lot of times you get guys that come, they try it, and then they're like, oh shit, man. Like, this is not like on TV. It looks so easy on TV.
What did I sign up for here?
And you never see them again. But then you got guys that you can tell from the beginning, they're like, they either have some sort of athletic background and you're like, okay, this guy can maybe, stay. And there's a few guys that I've seen in the past few weeks that are coming at Muay Thai and MMA and other classes as well. So it's good. It's good to see new people. It's good to see bigger classes. It's good to see the gym doing well because, I'm part of their family. So it's good for the morale and it's good for the team to have more members and grow as a team and as a gym. It's amazing. So, so now you've experienced the MMA and the Muay Thai. So tell me which one for now is better for you.
I like the MMA because I like the grappling thing. I always said, my focus here, if I can learn anything, it's jiu-jitsu. If I could, learn a few maneuvers and submissions and stuff, I'd be happy with that. A few takedowns. So that's why the MMA class was fun. And we got to work one-on-one with a guy, right? Work on the takedown drills and then try to avoid the takedown. Whereas, like you said, with this one, it was just intense cardio and punching and kicking the bag, which is cool too because I really never learned the proper way. My knowledge of punching dates back to Nintendo's Mike Tyson's Punch Out, and you can't punch like that. You can't. so we work on that. But no, it's a skill and that I'll get to work on and learn. Yeah. But I like both. My goal is if I do sign up for the year once my classes there that I've purchased in advance are up, I'd like to learn a little bit of everything. I don't want to limit myself to something. I like to learn a little bit of wrestling.
The MMA class is definitely useful.
But MMA is a little more fun. Like when I had the guy in a rear naked choke at the end of the class, that was cool.
But the thing with the MMA class is that you'll learn some striking, you'll learn some wrestling, you'll learn some. So I think it's more oriented for what you'd like, being a fan of MMA. Yeah. I do the Muay Thai, I do the MMA, the jiu-jitsu and everything because, it's a bit more... ever since I've been doing the Muay Thai class at Sherbatov, which basically since the beginning I've been there, my striking has gone from here to like a different level. And I've taken some boxing class too with Yanni, and it's really, really helped me. I'm surrounded by a great team. I spar with them on a regular basis. I get beat up, and now it's a lot of times now it's me like dishing out the beans instead of getting beans. So
that's good. That's good.
I've taken my game to a different level with them, and that's what I like. That's why I continue going there. And that's why I invite people to go there because they're amazing. They're good coaches. They're a good environment. There's a lot of like one-on-one, even with big classes. Yeah. Like you saw today, we were, I'd say exaggerating, we were about between 35 and 40 peeps. In class, I'd say we were a pretty big class. I'm not used to having two lines. Like at the end, now we do two lines. Before it's normally one line, and you got space. Now we're into the two lines. Like there's a lot of people when you line up at the beginning, at the end, and Boris is good. He sees everything, and if he sees you're not doing it right, he's gonna go to you. And there's a lot of one-on-one, even with the big classes.
Yeah, and that's probably what scares some people off is, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm gonna join this class with 30 people. How am I gonna learn anything? But it's nice. And the same thing last week with Howie. He takes you aside, says, do this. Bend a little bit lower for your takedown, grab the knees, don't lift with your back, lift with your knees, things like that. So, it's good to see that they're paying attention. Kind of like when I remember when I go to university and I had that first auditorium class where there's like 100 people sitting with you. I'm like, how is the teacher ever going to get anything across to one particular person who's having trouble? So
it's harder.
But it's so far, the last couple of weeks, last week too was 30 some odd people. So it's good that they're paying attention.
Today, the drills we made were for everybody. So we did a lot of drills on the bag and stuff. So he didn't separate the class, but sometimes we'll do more advanced stuff we're always between like 5 and 10 guys that are a bit more advanced. So he puts us aside and he gives us more advanced drills during the week. And then he separates the beginners and the intermediate guys. And he pays attention. You know, if he sees new faces and he asked them, have you ever done anything before? And they're like, no, I've never punched anything before, you know? So he shows them the proper technique. The beginner, they're amazing coach for that. And there's a lot of one-on-one, and that's what I love about that place from the beginning. It's a lot of attention from your coaches, and they won't shy away from telling you you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, well, I almost felt like I was in gym class back in high school there, you know, when he called out a couple of names. Hey, you know, bend down lower with your push-ups.
Oh, no, he doesn't. There's no bullshit.
Yeah,
and that's how
cool.
I think that's how it has to be when you're doing martial arts. There's a lot of these places that they don't either they don't pay enough attention because the classes are too big.
And they're just collecting your admission fees, and that's it, you know. You paid your money.
You know, so even the coaches at our gym, even if you've been there for years and you're an advanced guys, they'll call you out if you ain't doing something right. There's no advanced, intermediate. They're gonna treat, if you're not doing it right, you're not doing it right, and you gotta fix it. Get your shit together. And
if you want to learn, it's the only way.
Yeah, but I have nothing but great things to say about the gym. That's why I give shout outs. They don't pay me. They're not a sponsor, but I respect them enough, and they're my extended family, and that's why I give a shout out before my podcast.
Hey, maybe you'll get a discount when it's time to renew for next year.
Who knows, right?
Get the plug discount.
So Saturday, Muay Thai, and you think you're going to be up for the MMA class tomorrow?
I think so. As long as I can wake up and get out of bed without cringing, I'll be there.
If you can keep light on the booze tonight.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
It'll be,
You're not a big boozer normally, are you?
Me? No, I'm not much more of a smoker than a drinker.
Yeah. Smoking, I've smoked before where I've been able to gone training. It doesn't really affect me unless I really get blitz out of my fucking skull there. Yeah. Like last year at the remember we were at your brother's place for the...
Oh, on our trade deadline for our hockey pool.
Fuck, I've never been so blitzed.
Well, that's actually where you brought up the idea for
the podcast.
For the podcast, that's when we first talked about it. So sometimes good things come.
And
I
didn't smoke that much. It's because we're all in the same room and everybody was smoking.
Yeah, that secondhand smoke will get to you in that little room.
And then we went out once. Everybody was outside, and I was like, "Holy shit, I'm hot! God damn!" I couldn't really. I was having conversation with people, and I was like, "Yeah, there's a definite disconnect here."
Hey, and if the Diaz brothers can, fight for championships, being the potheads
it doesn't affect me, and I don't do it that much. Like, I do it occasionally on weekends and stuff. And it's been a few times. It's happened a few times where the next day I've gone training, and it's like doesn't affect me.
There's no hangovers. And that's why you won't be burping up. You won't be burping anything up or whatever the case.
And it's always been one of my points in the fact that we have this product that we sell, especially in Quebec. We sell it in dépanneurs. We sell it everywhere, and it's called alcohol. It's beer. It's everything. It's been legal forever, except during the prohibition, which wasn't in effect in Canada, I think.
No, thank God. If it wasn't for Canada, a lot of Americans wouldn't have been able to drink at all.
We wouldn't be having, And if you look at alcohol and the way it makes you feel, so you go out drinking and you get wasted, which is amazing. It's fun sometimes. Once in a while, you get up with friends, you get a few drinks, you get wasted. It's fun. Everybody loosens up. It's fun. But you feel the next day you wake up and you feel like death,
Especially the older you get, the worse the hangover is.
And it makes you really, if you think about it, you can't drive when you have alcohol. No. It makes you act foolish most of the time. Some people it affects people differently, of course, but some get way...
fights will break out that normally wouldn't.
When's the last time you saw a fight break out after when a bunch of potheads got together and smoked up?
Never.
Yeah.
Never.
Weird conversations,
maybe heavy debates.
Fights.
But no fights. No.
And when they're debating, there's no, the intensity is at a level. I've seen debates when people get drunk together and it's like, you want to... you want to get down, especially when hard liquor. I know myself, You give me Jack Daniels, get the fuck out of the way. If you want me to fight, I remember when I was younger and I used to go out to the bars a lot, and I used to be a little bit more rough and a little bit more short fuse when I was younger. And my friends needed my help in a certain area. They'd always be like, let's go to the bar and I'll buy you some shots. And it's always, when I saw that brown shit, the Jack Daniels or Crown Royal, and I'm like, I knew what they wanted from me. A few shots, like, hey, let's go talk to this guy over here. You know? He's been hitting on my girlfriend. I'm like, where is he? Where the fuck is he? I want to rip his fucking head off. Give it to me, you know? And I'd be in the bars, and 5 minutes later, I'd be outside. I'd be like, because with, bouncers around my neck, it was like, get the fuck out of here.
This beatdown has been brought to you by the fine people at Jack Daniels.
That was when I was young and stupid. Now I'm just stupid. I'm not young anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never been much of a violent drinker, but rum is the one that makes me the rowdiest, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah, I get enough rum in me, and
it's the whiskey.
Yeah.
The whiskey makes me it's weird how different alcohols have different effect on people. You know, you never see a bunch of winos getting rough, and me, I drink wine, and makes me, it just gives you that like body buzz, like, oh, it's nice, and I'll drink beer. Yeah. Same thing about with beer, like if I drink too many beers, I feel like heavy. And
you
feel
get
like,
bloated. Yeah.
But I fucking give me some hard liquor. Like I love gin. I love gin. Gin doesn't affect me. I can drink all night and I'll be like, I'll get drunk though.
Yeah.
Give me some Jack Daniels and some of that brown liquor. Holy fuck, some whiskey. If I buy a nice scotch though, and it's I'm careful with it, but. And then you get tequila, which is a totally different type of drug.
Yeah.
If anything should be illegal, holy fuck, it should be tequila. Tequila is like, you're just there. You've gone through 5-6 shots, and you're like, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, and then 30 minutes later, it's like blank.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you go to the bathroom, and all of a sudden you look up at the mirror, and then you get that white flash, and then you feel the shivers, and you're like, oh boy, hold on here, what's going on?
Did I ever tell you my tequila story? I got to pop the tequila story. I'm going to share it on the podcast today. It's one of my many. I have like 3 or 4 stories that when I get together with friends, I always end up telling. It's either one of my classic stories. There's the one-arm stripper, which I've told. Did I tell you the one-arm stripper?
I want to hear that one too.
Maybe okay. Well, we're not gonna get started on
story
There's
time.
the one-arm stripper. There's my tequila story. There's a few other stories that friends get. Hey, Steph, come over here. Tell us your fucking one-arm stripper story, or tell us your tequila. So I'm trying to keep it short, but one night I was at back when I lived in New Brunswick. I was single. I was hanging out with these people, and we went to a house party. Started drinking. Probably had like 6-7 beers before going to the bar. Which back then gives me a buzz. Just like cools. Mellows me out before going into the bar, and then you get to the bar normally, and I'd have a few other beers, and we used to all go out to this pub. And every Friday they'd have $1.50 shooters.
Oh boy!
And it was always tequila and another shooter. Okay. And which was the other shooter was always like a mixture of like a fruity, sugary
thing for the ladies.
And they have tequila shots at $1.50. All right.
That's looking for trouble.
I don't know what the fuck happened, but when we left the house, I ended up in a cab by myself when everybody else was with somebody else. I don't know what the fuck. I ended up at the pub before everybody else. But in my head, I'm like, they're gonna be there in 30 seconds. So I walk into the pub, and I knew the guy. We've been there. I used to go there every Friday, a couple times a week. So I knew the bartender. I knew people. So I walk in. I look at the guy. I said, listen, there's a free table. I said, give me some tequila shots and bring him at the table. So I'm like, how much? I said, I had $15 in my pocket. So I'm like, bring me 10 tequila shots at the table. It's $1.50. I'm like, yeah, I'll be good for that. So we'll pay for tip later. We'll order some more stuff later. Yeah. Guy brings me the 10 shots, puts them on the table. So I have a few waiting for my friends. Well, guess what? My friends then didn't end up showing in time. So I ended up drinking all the 10 tequila shots. I was pretty wasted by then, but I was like, I'll have another one. Maybe there's somebody that came around and I knew I gave one, but I basically had all the tequila shots. I don't really remember anything after that. The next thing I remember is I woke up in someone's bathroom.
Okay.
Yeah. I woke up in someone's bathroom. You know those little mats they have like on the floor, like
Yeah.
either in front of the bathroom, like those fuzzy mats.
Sure.
I was in the fetal position on that,
On the mat. Yeah.
naked,
Okay.
butt naked. All right.
Jesus.
Yeah, exactly. I was naked. I woke up. I looked around. I didn't recognize the place. I'm like, holy fuck, man. Like that had never happened to me, that I had blacked out. You know, like I've been drunk where people tell me, oh man, I blacked out. I don't remember anything. I'm like, how can that
doesn't
be?
really. I haven't experienced that.
I used
too
to tell
many
people,
times.
how much do you drink? Yeah. But I never realized that, you know, that night was the first and probably the only night, I don't remember anywhere. And it has to be the tequila. The tequila has to be, I'm guarantee I didn't drink tequila for about a few years after that.
Yeah.
I woke up and I was completely butt naked in a bathroom, and I was looking around and I'm like, I have no idea where I'm at. So I'm like I'd been sick. I was drunk. I was really drunk, you know? So I like open the door, I look around, I had no idea where I'm at. So I start walking around. I'm like, nobody, it's dark. It's probably like 3-4 in the morning.
Okay.
I make my way to this, I see this little light, and there's a door creeped open, and I see some light inside. So I'm like, all right. So I'm like, I'm not recognizing anything. So finally I look around, I creep inside, and I see this girl. She pops up in bed. She's like, hey. She's like, where were you? She's like, you've been gone for like fucking an hour. I recognized her. I'm like, oh.
At least you recognized.
I'm like, hey. She's like, come in. Like, what the fuck? She's like, what are you doing? She's like, what the fuck am I doing here? She's like, what do you mean? She said, I just woke up in the bathroom. She's like, yeah, you left for the bathroom. I think you were going to be sick or something. And you just went. And that was like 45 minutes ago. And I'm like, what? How did I get here? Well, she's like, we fucking showed up at the bar and you were fucking passed out on the table. And then the bouncers were getting ready to put you in a cab and send you home. So I took you and I fucking brought you to my place instead. And I was like, oh, okay, that's awesome. Then I thought to myself, I'm like, what the fuck am I naked for? Did I just get raped? Like, basically, I got raped.
You got raped?
I got raped because I don't remember anything.
Oh.
So in my head, that's the feeling that get raped. It's like I got drugged. I drugged myself, basically, and then stuff happened. I mean, I was 22, 23. I was still in college. And maybe I was a bit older. 21.
You were taken advantage of.
I guess I was. But I'm not hating on anybody.
No.
I'm not complaining, even mad, you know. It's like, all right.
It's too bad you don't remember.
So I'm like, fuck, man. So I went to bed. I woke up the next day. And it was the worst hangover, one of the worst hangovers I've had. That tequila hangover and that fear. I remember being really afraid when I woke up, because it was the first time that there's a lapse of time. Like I've been training MMA for about 7 or 8 years, and I've never really been knocked out. I've been like flashed, like maybe like half a second I flashed out, but knocked out where you wake up and you're like, holy shit, there's like about 10, 15, 20 seconds missing of my life. But there was like 2-3 hours missing of my life that I'll never get back. And it's scary because when I woke up, I didn't know where I was. And there's that funny part where I was naked and I was like, oh, this is funny, but and at the same time it's scary, you know. I hadn't seen enough movies like Saw and those type of creepy movies to really scare me back then. But let's just say that it was a story, and I tell that story to my friends even today. They get me to say it again and they fucking laugh, and they're like, hey, come over, tell me your tequila story, tell me the time you remember. And I really can't imagine, because it's really the only time where I've really blacked out. And I've heard people say the same thing on tequila. They say, yeah, I can't do tequila. I do 3-4 shots and I'm a different person and I don't remember anything.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about certain alcohols that changes the way our bodies and our minds react to it, but it is...
it's pretty fucked up that you have an alcohol that they put a worm in it to make sure it's not poison. Because that's why they put the worm in it.
They put the worm. That's in mezcal, though, right?
It's only mezcal.
It's only mezcal they put the worm.
So if the worm disintegrates, you're not supposed to drink it.
Something
it's poison.
Like that. Yeah.
So it's toxic.
I thought it was just a gimmick more than anything. But yeah, mezcal's not very tasty, though. I don't know. I've never had really good mezcal, so maybe that's why. But I've had some. Ugh.
Have you had like expensive tequila before? Like Padron? Padron is tequila, no?
Yeah, I've had Padron once.
Was it a difference?
Yeah, I don't know. I like the Jose Cuervo Gold. Yeah. I mean, for me, that's
the
more
gold
than
one.
Enough. Yeah.
Did you ever have the blue one?
No, I haven't tried that.
That's the white one, right?
Yeah, well, that's it. The white tequilas, not so crazy though. Gold tequila, like I remember, you have your tequila story. I have my tequila story. Me and Bucci went to Cancun, and the first night we go out to the club, we brought we went with a bunch of guys that we had met from the hotel that were from Quebec. They were from Drummondville, I think. So we took them. It seemed like a nice enough group of guys. So we said, okay, we're going to go to clubs, if you want to hang out with us tonight. And, we'll try to pick up women or whatever. Yeah.
In Cancun.
In Cancun. Good luck with that. So, so these guys come, and they're nice enough guys. One of them's got crutches because he had just broken his leg like the week before the trip or something, but he didn't want to not go.
Jesus,
so,
sucks.
He's on a fucking beach with a full leg cast,
Oh, man.
So he's crutching himself around the bar, around the club. So we're in Mexico. We gotta have tequila, right? And they're serving the Jose Cuervo Gold at the bars. So, okay, good. And you pay like your $30-$40, and it's all you can drink all night.
Oh, is that what it is? Yeah.
So first round of tequila goes down all right. They're making faces, but we're okay. Second round of tequila, wait for them to come back. Another round. Then it got to the point where we'd order the tequila, we'd get the tequila, we'd shoot it, and then as soon as we put it down, we had already ordered another one.
Oh shit!
So I don't know how many tequilas we were in.
Just you and Bucci, or all the guys?
Me, Bucci, and then all the other guys. But the other guys, however, started to kind of fall behind, and started. Oh no, I don't know. They couldn't drink too much more. Next thing I know, the four of them all have their heads underneath the table, and they're all puking inside the bar. And it was just like an orchestra of puke. I feel so bad for everyone. We had to clean that up. Thank God there were high tables with long tablecloths, so it was kind of like camouflage.
Yeah.
But let's just say we moved away from the area.
Oh man!
After
and tequila
the fact.
puke is the worst. When it comes back up, you taste it for days.
We were lucky enough, though. Me and Booch, I don't think we didn't get sick. We felt invincible. And that's the tequila thing. That's the problem too. You feel invincible after a few, and like you say, then you go to the bathroom. All of a sudden, it catches up with you. Like, whoa, wait a minute.
I call tequila the cocaine of alcohol.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good assessment.
It's like liquid cocaine because it makes you feel like, I can have another shot.
Yeah.
Because the first shot, you're like, ugh, fuck no. And you're like, and you're like, I'll do another one. And the second one, I was like,
well, that wasn't so
by
bad.
the third one, you're like, fucking go bring me the fucking bottle, all right?
Oh, that's like Italians with grappa, and that's one thing I can only have maybe.
I went to
2 shots of before I feel everything come back up.
Rems? Were we at Rems?
Oh yeah, at Rems. Oh yeah, I remember that.
We were leaving for Portugal the next day, and I had never had grappa before.
You never had? Oh boy.
And I think I don't know. We probably went through I don't know how many fucking bottles of grappa we went through, but it was every 10 minutes is like, hey, come over here, man. We're going to fuck you. And so I was one end of the bar shooting grappa with one guy, and then there was another gang coming, hey, you want to come over here? And I was like, oh, holy fuck. I'm like, I got to take a plane for 7 hours tomorrow. Like, give it a fucking.
That must have been horrible.
But the plane only left at late at night, so I had a whole day to sleep,
to recuperate.
But yeah, grappa. But that I can take. It's a bit sweeter. But it's not tequila. There's nothing like it, and that's why I call it the cocaine of. So that was my tequila story. I have other stories I'll keep for other podcasts. My one-armed stripper is probably the top of.
I'm looking forward to that one.
So, listeners, stay tuned on another podcast. We'll bring it up. It's a bit longer. You really got to get into it. I got to really have a few beers in me to make it entertaining.
Okay, yeah.
But
those are the best. The best storytellers are the ones that get into it and start changing voices when they're playing different characters.
I get up. That's why at a party I stand up and I reenact a lot of.
Yeah, well, that's it. You got to.
The one-armed stripper is not much of a reenactment. Oh, thank God. It was more of a visual thing. You can just imagine what the visual is. I don't call it the one-armed stripper because the stripper had 2 arms.
No.
But yeah, so that was my tequila story. I don't know why we got started on alcohol all of a sudden.
Do you think would a one-armed stripper get offended when the DJ goes, okay, everybody give her a hand. A round of applause for Stacy.
Right.
Fucking dick.
Fuck you, man.
You know I've only got one arm.
She claps in the back of her head, the back of her neck. That's from Fresh Prince. Remember he said that?
Oh, fuck yeah, that's right.
Your mama only she claps.
She claps in the back of her head. I did.
What's the comedian who said the bitch got a mouth on the back of her neck and she bitch chew like this? Was that Fresh Prince?
Yeah, that was Fresh Prince too, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah?
I think so.
Why did I say bitch? I know he didn't say bitch on Fresh Prince. I thought it was somebody else. That was funny. Yeah. Your mom has a mouth on her back of her neck. She chews like this. That's funny.
I don't know what it's supposed to signify.
Just insult, I guess.
It's
like a yo mama joke, I guess.
Speaking of yo mama jokes, you remember, and I don't think it lasted long, thankfully, but remember Fez from that 70s show?
Yeah, man.
Wilmer Valderrama, I think is his name.
He had a yo mama on MTV.
Yeah. Was that?
We spoke about this on this podcast.
We had talked about it?
You know where I discovered that?
Yeah.
When I was in Cuba.
Yeah.
We were on Cuba and we had American television.
Oh, that's how we got into it. Yes. Because this is the same thing. Me too. Yeah, on vacation discovered it. Fuck, was that a horrible TV show?
And we started. It was on all week because it was always on at the time where we'd spend all day at the beach, and then we'd go back at our room for around 5-6ish, get ready for dinner. Then
Yes,
put the
okay. I
TV
remember
on
having
and
this It's bad now. 9 podcasts in, I'm already repeating stories.
All right.
Fuck.
Imagine when we're a couple hundreds in.
Jeez.
Fuck that.
Tell that stripper story again.
We got nothing else to talk about. I'm 75 years old. I'm still talking about that one-armed stripper.
Yeah.
I don't think anything will beat. I don't want to talk about it anymore because I haven't told the story. But after I tell the story, you'll see that. I don't think I'll have any other
The
experience.
listeners gonna be like, stop teasing us and just tell us the goddamn story.
Next time, folks.
All right. I'll try to think of a good story too.
How did we go from MMA to alcohol?
Because we were talking about not drinking too much before training.
Yeah.
And I said the fact that I smoke more than I drink. And then we talked about the fact that, the hangover factor. You're getting old when you have to plan around your hangover.
Fuck yeah, man.
It's like, okay, I'm going to get drunk on Friday. So Saturday, it's going to be a hangover day. What can I do?
I know that I'm older because I convinced myself not to drink anymore. Before I used to be like, fuck that shit.
Yeah.
If I didn't train and I didn't have a kid, I didn't have to get up. There's a lot of things I'd be like, I'd be drinking on the couch most of the Saturday nights by myself. Like I used to do, Mm-hmm. Like, I don't have to get out. I'll fucking buy a bottle of wine and
That's it. Chill
get
at home.
wasted. And then tomorrow I get up at 10:30. I'll be all right,
Yeah.
Now I have a son that wakes me up at 7:30. And so, yeah, none of that. So if I do drink too much, then I pay for it,
Yeah.
And I spend a lot of time in the gym and on the weekends now, especially, with I have sparring on Sunday morning. So there ain't no drinking on Saturday, Saturday night. Like I'll have a beer right now. I might have another one with dinner. And that's it. Mm-hmm. Nothing to get me like totally wasted. Because then the next day, it's just horrible.
Yeah, man.
I'm going through
hard enough working out and sparring, especially the way you guys go.
Yeah.
Yanni, that guy's a beast, man.
Yeah. 125 pounds.
125 pounds of beast.
Yeah, I outweigh him by about 70 pounds right now, and he still kicks my ass.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that. This kid is got to be good.
He doesn't look like his cardio ever runs out. Dude. His stamina is like set on like overdrive.
He said, I think he weighs about 135 right now. His cut's going to be easy for 125.
How do you cut weight when he already looks like he's like 1% body fat? What weight do you cut?
You dehydrate the muscle.
It's
a
just
little
all
bit.
the water.
The water weight. It's all
That's
water weight.
eh?
It's about 7 pounds, I think he said.
Yeah.
By the time it's in 3 weeks. In 2 Sundays, October 5th, his first pro fight. 125 pounds, it's harder around this area, especially to fight local.
Yeah.
125 pounds, there's not that many guys.
No.
They had to get a guy from Michigan.
Oh, really?
He's fighting a guy from Michigan and in an organization which is they're making their debut. This is their debut event. It's called LAMMQ, which is I don't even remember, something Quebec. Les Arts Martiaux Mixtes Quebec. It's French.
Yeah.
They're having their first event in Quebec on October 5th.
And this is amateur or pro fight?
It's all pro.
This is pro.
Pro, yeah. They're having a tournament for their first event at 170. So they're having, I believe, 4 170 fights. So 8 guys fighting for a tournament.
Crown the champ?
It's not one night tournament.
Oh, it's not a one night thing.
They're gonna fight that night, and then they're gonna have a semifinal on a different night.
Do you miss the one night tournament formats like Pride style?
I do. I
Or
do
the old UFC?
I do for the pure entertainment value of it.
Yeah.
But as a practitioner of the sport now,
probably not so
I
much.
get that it's not the safest thing in the world.
No.
Especially that you have weight classes now.
Well, yeah.
Back then, you didn't. Not only was it you fought 3 times a night, but you fought guys that weren't even fucking your weight class.
Well, that's it, yeah.
Guys that outweigh you by 50, 60, 70, 80 pounds sometimes, When you were Royce Gracie, you didn't give a fuck. You had jiu-jitsu, you get an arm, you break the arm, it's finished, it's over.
Yeah, especially when nobody had
Guys
any
think
idea what the fuck that stuff was back then.
What's jiu-jitsu?
Jiu-jitsu.
But I take your jiu-jitsu. I can't do the Brazilian accent. There's guys that do Brazilian accents. I love hearing them talk.
Vanderlei's the best. Yeah. He's got the best accent.
Fuck, man.
He's
even in Portuguese, and my girlfriend sometimes she's like, I don't know what he's saying. It's like, Jesus Christ, man. When you look at his face, you could tell sometimes that I don't know.
He's funny. There was one guy who imitated him well, did a couple of prank calls he had on YouTube, and he had prank called some shows with the chicken sandwich. The chicken.
Chris Cyborg fought a Muay Thai fight last night.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She destroyed her opponent.
And she just fought a couple of weeks ago.
In MMA, yeah, she won the well, it was a belt. She won the 130, the 145
Invicta, right?
She won against Marlos Conan.
Yeah.
That was about a month ago. Now she fought for I think it was in Vegas. Okay. She fought like just a Muay Thai fight. It wasn't much of a Muay Thai fight. She just fucking. It was more of a boxing fight.
Yeah.
Sloppy, I find. But she wasn't that sloppy. The other chick she was fighting was a bit sloppy.
Well, that's why a lot of these women's fights, I mean, some of them are entertaining. They're slobber knockers, like good old JR would say. But yeah, sloppy a little bit. So it can be entertaining, but you want to see a little bit more refined striking.
But the ones that the UFC they're careful of signing, they're technical. Not like some of the guys.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I remember
at the level, yeah.
Because what's her name? Shayna Baszler. What's she's a big name outside of the UFC.
She lost in the Ultimate Fighter.
And she lost in the Ultimate Fighter, right? So it just goes to say, I mean, I think.
Fuck that bitch. I hated her anyway.
Really?
She deserved to lose. She was all like, oh, and everybody else was boosting her. She should be in the UFC already. She's beaten. She has, and then I think I heard somebody say she's beaten some of the chicks that were in the UFC. Sorry if I call them chicks. Sorry, I don't want to disrespect anybody, but she's beaten some
chicks
of the
that could probably kick
girls
our asses. So.
Of the women, sorry, she's beaten some of the women in the UFC that are still in the UFC, and then I'm like, let me check her record out. This was during the first episode of The Ultimate Fighter, so I check her record out. Number one, her last pro fight is a loss.
Okay,
she's coming off a loss before going into the house. And she's like 15-6. She has a few losses. Well, she has over 20 some fights, which is 5-6 losses, not that bad. Whatever. It's especially in women's MMA when the talent pool is not that much. So, and then I look at all the girls she's lost against. She's lost against Sarah McMahon, which is in the UFC. She's a fucking strong wrestler,
Yeah.
Olympic
wrestler.
Yeah. She lost against Alexis Davis, which is also in the UFC. And I'm like, okay, I was trying to find a name in the UFC, and I think there's a few names there that are in the UFC. And I'm like, this chick is hyping herself up. She looks like a bad bitch. Like looks like, I looked at her prelim fight before to get in the house, and yeah, she was strong and stuff. She got no heart though. She's got no heart, and she looked for a way out. I think she came out in their fight, and I think in the fight she mauled the first round. She won the first round hands down, and she came into the second round and she got submitted, got caught a few times, and she gave up. She gave up, I think, and the other chick only had 4 fights. She was 4-0.
I mean, it's an unpredictable it's division, I guess, women's division. I guess you'd call it a division as far as the competition goes. Like you say, it's a shallow talent pool, and with the way some of the fights can go, sloppy.
Just
I
look
mean,
at
with
the
the
Ultimate
exception
Fighter.
of the top 2-3 names, apart from Rousey and. Well, even Misha Tate. I mean, let's not forget, she lost her last fight. But even though she's going to be fighting for the title, it's only because what's her name got hurt.
I think she's going to look better though this time.
I hope so, because I mean, she does. She's got form at least when you see her. And
fuck.
Well, it depends. What? I gotta say, she's kind of a little bit of a butterface.
Maybe
a little bit.
There's something about.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I wouldn't pass up a date with her, but
there's something about a chick that can beat the shit.
Yeah, but that is sexy. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, if you can.
I used to find Ronda Rousey sexy. Now I can't stand it.
Yeah, it's her attitude. It's really it's a big turnoff.
She's a fake because I don't think in real life she's such a bitch. And I hate fake people. I can't stand it.
The problem with all these Ultimate Fighter shows is that they all kind of put on a persona for the cameras.
Even
whether or not you're conscious of it, I think most people would do it regardless.
You're right on the Ultimate Fighter, but Ronda Rousey does it when she's fighting.
Yeah.
Out of the Ultimate Fighter. She's the super bubbly chick when you're talking to her, and then when it comes time to fight, she puts herself in. And I understand to a certain point, but she tries to like Nate Diaz it too much, in my opinion.
Yeah,
like we get it.
Yeah,
you get it. You're trying to sell the fight. She flipped the bird to Misha Tate before the Ultimate Fighter in an interview or something. Like there was a press conference to announce the Ultimate Fighter, and then she was replacing.
Well, they got to hype it up too, because I'm sure the average viewer is going, "Well, this chick just lost Tate lost 2 fights in a row, right?
She lost to
Well,
Rousey,
she lost to Rousey, and then she lost to
Kat Zagano.
There we go, Zagano. So I guess they got to try to hype it some way to kind of give
totally
like some legitimacy as to like why people should care about this matchup, I guess.
Let's just say that I don't I'm not such a fan of her anymore.
But
I'm looking
but I've heard Cyborg lately. Well, I mean, Cyborg. The issue was always about her getting below 145 pounds, right? And the fact that she probably can't make it to, or she says one week she says she can't make it to 135, the next she says she can, but she won't, or whatever the case may be. But now she said she wants to fight Rousey, and whether or not it's at 135, 145, she doesn't even care about the belt. She just wants to shut her up.
Yeah.
So that'd be fun to
Chris
see.
Cyborg would, I think, in my opinion,
I think she'd demolish her.
She'd demolish her.
I think she'd be able to break out of those arm bars.
They wouldn't even be an arm
if
bar.
there was, yeah, if she even got to that. But yeah, I'd like to think that she'd probably get in a few shots
I wouldn't
before.
fight Chris Cyborg.
Oh, she's an animal, man.
I think, in my opinion, there's guys in the UFC she could easily beat.
I think so.
A Brian Carey,
Brian Carey,
fucking
first one
Mr. Tate.
Mr. Tate, yeah.
Yeah, like she.
I'd put that as the headline on a pay-per-view. I'd pay to see
Fuck
that.
that. Anybody would.
I would pay to see
anything.
that, man.
Just
Who was it
saying.
back in the day? The tennis player, Billie Jean. Was it Billie Jean King who played against a male tennis player?
John McEnroe?
Was it John McEnroe? Yeah, I think so. So maybe it's time that we take that to another sport. Let's bring it to mixed martial arts.
You can't put a guy in a girl.
I
ring.
know. People would go
Imagine?
nuts.
Oh, my God.
People would go nuts.
That would not be... The UFC would close down the next day. They'd be like,
Probably.
yep. No.
Come on, let's be politically correct, man. Let's we're equals.
Equal?
Men, women, we're equals. No, but you see how it doesn't work
When
sometimes?
it comes to pay, it's like they pick and choose. Like
It's
yeah,
pick and choose. No, I know.
Pay me the same salary, but I'm not getting in a ring.
No, but no, I can understand that. I mean, I don't think people would be able to.
Physio-
New news outlets would never be able to show highlights of a
Physically,
man
there's
fighting
no-
a woman. I don't think that would be possible. Mind you, in wrestling, they got kind of used to it with China.
No, let's face it. She's more of a Chris Cyborg character. Yes, she is a freak, though. She is physically strong. And I've seen women like that, though. I've seen women. I'm not saying they're not taking steroids or hormones or whatever the case may be, but they're physically built like a guy, and they're physically probably stronger than most guys in their weight class, you know?
Hey, have we ever talked about that transgender fighter?
Yeah.
We've
No, I don't think we've
I don't know
talked
if we've
about
discussed that.
Fallon Fox.
Fallon Fox.
I haven't heard about her in a while.
I know she kind of fell out of the spotlight, but I think that was kind of ridiculous. I don't agree with her fighting against women at all.
No.
If men can't fight women, then she can't, because I'm sorry, but you were a man 8 years ago.
Doesn't matter if you cut off your penis and
That's it.
chopped off
you're
your
still
balls.
a man. You still got an Adam's apple, and you've still got broad shoulders.
Jesus.
You got the
hands,
the bone
shoulders,
structure, all of that.
muscle structure, everything. It doesn't. They say that with the estrogen pills and the whatever thing she's taking to make her like a woman, you know, the hormones and stuff, it can reduce like the muscle mass and stuff, but it's not going to reduce your bone structure.
No, that's it. Your bones aren't going to shrink,
Your
right?
bone density is going to be. It's physically proven that bone density in a man is like take a man and a woman on general basis. You take 100 guys and take 100 girls, and the majority of the guys are gonna be bigger than the girls. I'm talking like take them all in the same like category, like all fit. They're all gonna be bigger, all gonna be stronger.
Yeah.
Men can build muscle way faster, and I'm not knocking this on women. It's just this is science. This is proven.
Well, that's it. It's science.
This is genetics.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just like our brains are bigger than theirs.
It's like, dude.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Jesus Christ. I'm trying to get more viewers.
I'm scaring them all away. I kid.
Anyway, yeah, but you know what I mean? It's in my opinion, it's not just that, but a guy can take more of punishment compared to a woman. I mean, you can punch a woman. If I'm standing here, I punch a woman in the mouth right now as hard as I can, and I pinch a guy, and the chances that I knock out the chick compared to the chance I can knock out the guy, I mean, the guy was probably going to be more able to take the punishment compared to the girl. It makes absolutely no sense.
No, but that's it. Well, if women had the bone structure of men, they wouldn't be women.
They would be a man.
They would be
without a
men, you know.
penis.
You want chicks with big square jaws, like they're all the German.
But have you seen her fight,
weightlifting team?
Did you see any of her fights? She ragdolls women
Fallon Fox. Yeah. It's not fair.
The second fight, I think she finished that girl with knees. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, she's just basically fighting.
She fought a few months. Her last fight was when this whole argument started. She was like 2-0. She had 2 fights. Now she's like 4-0, I think.
Yeah, 4 or 5.
But it kind of died down. I think it's like, listen, I can see how you're like, yeah, listen, she's gone through the surgery. She's post-op. She's got no more penis, no more balls. So she doesn't have testosterone being pushed in her body anymore. But the fact of the matter is, she was 34 years old, I think, when she got the operation done. 34, 36.
Well, that's it. It's not like she's been a woman for 20 years.
36 years of being a man.
Yeah.
Physically building muscle like a man. Physically building your everything like a man. Mentally, physically. And all of a sudden, you're going to chop off your dick and balls, and you're going to think, oh, now I can go and fight women? Oh, dude, get the fuck out of here. Yeah. Get the fuck out of here. It makes absolutely no sense. And listen, I'm not trying to hate here or anything. Do I think she should fight men? No, she shouldn't fight men, because at the same time, now that she doesn't have her dick and ball, she doesn't have that testosterone, that level anymore. She'd get demolished by men. She, or should I call her a she? Let's call her a she.
We'll call her.
She's got a vagina now,
Yeah,
so let's call her a
she's
she.
a she.
All right, she would get demolished by men. It's the same story about that Muay Thai fighter. That I don't know if you ever heard about this. It's a very popular champion Muay Thai fighter in Thailand.
Okay.
And he decided he wanted to become a woman, so he started cross-dressing and stuff. But he was going through the process of becoming a woman.
Okay.
He was a Muay Thai champion. I don't remember his name right now. It's Thai name, so it's fucked up a little bit. He started going through the process, still keeping his balls, still keeping his penis, and he was still winning Muay Thai fights against men. And the minute he chopped off his dick and balls, went post-op, kept fighting men because nobody knew. He was still disguised as, he didn't have tits. He didn't get implants.
Okay.
So kept fighting men after, and started getting demolished by men. Started losing right away. And then after that, I think he came out. There's a documentary on him. I forget the name right now. I could search it, but I don't really want to. But the fact of the matter is, the fact of the matter is that it would be the same for Fallon Fox. She was a guy. I don't even think she ever had any MMA fights as a guy. That's the thing. She didn't have MMA fights. This guy went through 36 years of his life. I don't know if he was training MMA, but he didn't have fights. And all of a sudden, he's like, I want to be a woman now. And now that I'm a woman, I want to start punching women in the face and fighting.
Well, that's it. When you say it like that, it's kind of like, well, no. Why? How could we let anybody do that?
That's wrong.
It's wrong. Exactly. But yet, I don't know. I was surprised by how many people were defending her. Just, I don't know, for the sake of being politically correct, I guess. But come on, at a certain point, you got to draw the line in the sand.
You have to.
Say, listen, you're either a man, you're a woman, and if you're kind of in between, well, then you can fight others that are like you. How about that? We'll start
what's the example
find yourself a transgender MMA association.
Here's the example I used for people that defended her. And I tried to find somebody in her weight class. Okay, she fights at the same weight class as Chris Cyborg's 145.
145, yeah.
So take Jose Aldo. He's 145-pound world champion UFC. Probably top 3 pound-for-pound best fighter in the world. Sure. Chop off his dick and balls and then go fight. Is it okay that he goes fighting girls now? Yeah. You think that's okay? The guy will fucking chop a chick's legs off with those. You think without his... he'll be a bit physically less strong now that he's got no testosterone. But still. She's still going to destroy some chicks.
Yeah, he's been a man for 28 years. You know?
Sorry. That does not make it right. Should they have a transgender league where they only fight each other?
Well, hey, if you can find enough of them, fine. I'm all for it. You know.
But I don't think a man that's now a woman should be fighting women. Yeah. That's just my opinion.
I agree.
And that's mostly opinion of a lot of people.
A lot of people. It's just, you got to be careful the way you say it. Like somebody was it Matt Mitrione spoke out about it and called her a freak and this and that. And
they don't call him a meathead for nothing.
Yeah, well, that's it. And that got him into trouble. And, what he was trying to say wasn't absurd. It's just the way it came out. It sounded
even Joe
ridiculous.
Rogan on one of his podcasts. He actually said it in a way where he wasn't being demeaning or anything. He was like this basically. pulling the points, giving his opinion. Dude, he got so much shit for it.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
No, you can't say anything.
A lot of hate on Twitter from feminists. He said he got even hate from male feminists. You ever hear about these people where they're guys that are basically take the side of feminist women?
Guys that have been married and had their balls chopped off by their wives in the figurative sense. Oh, man, yeah.
This
I
one
probably know
really
a few guys
had her
like that.
balls and dicks chopped off, and you figuratively had her balls and dicks chopped off. I don't care what you guys think. If anybody there listening and bitching, I don't know.
Well, it's like, the whole feminist conversation. I was having this conversation at work yesterday because I heard that Blurred Line song about 8 times, and we discussed it quickly.
I love the video.
It's a good song. And, okay, now people are analyzing the lyrics, right? And they're saying, oh, it's sexist and it's promoting rape and blah, blah, blah.
What?
Okay, you haven't. Well, if you actually read the lyrics, it's kind of pointing to the fact that, it's a little rapey in the sense that, you want it, girl, you're a good girl, but be bad. You want to touch it. You want to do
rapey?
this. Well, it's kind of the whole angle of the song is the blurred lines, what's consensual sex or blah, blah, blah. Or at least that's how people are analyzing it.
It's a fucking song.
I know it's a fucking song, and it's not the first freaking song that has degrading women towards degrading lyrics towards women. Well, that's it, and so that people are so outspoken about this all of a sudden, and apparently care about the content of the lyrics of the song. Well, do you remember that Little John song with the whole skeet 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 song?
Chris Rock bit.
The whole Chris Rock bit, right?
Put a dick in the ear.
Yeah, slap it with a dick. Slap it with a dick. And girls are singing along in the clubs. It's like, these songs lyrics have existed at least.
He ain't talking about me.
At least for 20 years. He ain't talking about me. That's it.
I put a dick in her ear. Dick in her ear. Dick in her ear.
So, but I don't know. So let's see. It's whatever the flavor of the month is to pick on, and
people have.
So
too
that's
much
it. So the
time on
Fallon
their mind.
Fox topic, I guess, has kind of lost its luster. People aren't talking about it, and now they've moved on to Miley Cyrus and Robin Thicke.
Do you know how I always tell people, stop listening to the mainstream media and do your fucking research on things. Use the internet the way the internet is supposed to be meant for to be used.
Yeah.
A lot of people have a lot of time on their hand and they use it the right way. I'm not saying it's the right way. There's a lot of way you can use the internet. But the internet is basically outside social media and any other shopping or any. There's so much information about the world out there that they doesn't play on mainstream media or that you don't hear about on the radio. So if you hear something about a subject that you're passionate about and you're like, oh shit, what the fuck is this? Before spewing out diarrhea on the subject and not really knowing anything about it, go on the internet and do your research. I always tell people, don't believe the first thing you hear.
Well, that's
do your
it.
Fucking research.
Exactly.
Well, there's people that have too much time on their hand and they use the internet for that reason, just to look for something to pick on. They have too much time on their hand. Then they're like, hey, what's the flavor of the month right now? And, oh, this Blurred Line song, it's pretty popular. And Miley Cyrus is all over the place and blah, 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 blah. So let's fucking, let's be negative about this. And I think people think that by being that way about something, they think they're either funny or they're like, oh, yeah, look at all the people that are agreeing with me. Yeah, tap myself on the shoulder. It doesn't matter if there's 25 people that agree with you. It doesn't make it right. Your point of view doesn't make it right.
No.
Like, there's a lot of people that I'll say something and then people agree with them. And it's not just, it doesn't mean because somebody agrees with you that you're right.
No.
You know what I mean? And it doesn't mean because you have 100 people that agree with you.
Doesn't matter
that
if you
you're
got
right.
a million, right? I mean, you can go back to Hitler and say it's because there's a lot of people that agreed with him, maybe out of fear more than anything. But no, it definitely doesn't make it right, no matter how many people are defending your cause.
God.
But
damn.
yeah, like you say, the internet, because too often now, it's people who get sucked into going to the same websites all the time, and sometimes I'm guilty of that. You go to the same websites, and then it becomes like watching TV, where it's whatever the TV station,
like
whatever the guy
program.
on the television is telling you what's going on, that's what you're listening to, that's what you're believing, rather than going out of your way to kind of research every subject on your own and go, check out the news outlets directly from the city where that particular event or catastrophe, whatever the case happened, rather than just relying on the
especially
dude
when
on
you're
Fox
dealing
News or
with
CNN or whatever the case may be.
anything overseas or like
Especially.
don't just listen. If there's something going on in the Middle East, don't rely on CNN to be the
because there's always another side to the story
go to
that
Al
they will rarely
Jazeera
show
or
you.
whatever. They'll tell you they'll go to a website that have people that actually live there that can relate.
Yeah.
To like, that's not really what's going on here. You know what I mean? So And I'm guilty of that. I have a routine. Like if I get up in the morning and I spend a half an hour on the internet, I'm always gonna go to the same websites. They're programmed on my list.
That's it. That's why we have our favorite tabs. Yep.
Yeah. I go on CNN. I go see what the news is. I go on TSN. I go see what the sport is. I go on Facebook. I check my Facebook. I check my Twitter. I check my emails. And then I'm like, here I got a few blogs I check, and that's it. I'm done. Half an hour of my life. I'm caught up on everything I need to be caught up.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I have extra time. I want to, you know what? I'm going to go here. I'm going to do research. It's like, I'm sure you've been there. You're like, I'm at home. I hear something on the radio. I hear something. I'm like, and then you start Googling something. Oh yeah, I'll Google his name. What's this actor been to lately? Yep. And then you start looking you're Googling, and then you go on the Wikipedia, and then you're reading up on this guy, and he's like, oh, he did this movie. When does this movie made? So you click on this movie, and then you see, it's like, oh, this actor was in this movie. And you're like, an hour later, you're gone through like 18 windows, and you've just gone through
you're like hyperlinking for an hour and a half, and that's it. It's from one to the next, but which is great. I do that. Wikipedia is the best for that, though, man. And especially when it comes to anything pop culture, anything light. I mean, when it comes to what this guy did, what movie was he in? Oh yeah, he was in that movie. Oh shit, what else was he in? Or who else was that? What is that kid? Remember from The Sandlot? What does that kid look like now?
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever, the random shit like that. But again, I like to do I like reading about like countries and cities and stuff where you don't really know what's going on, whether it's like North Korea, where it's, stuff that's still kind of hidden. Because the internet, there's so much information out there, but it's fun to sometimes read about the stuff that...
fuck, man. You're not going to hear about everything.
No. So you click on this about, Pyongyang and North Korea, whatever the case may be, and then follows the link, and then next thing you know, you learn something. You learn something new, and if you can learn one new thing every day...
That's
it's
what
probably,
I use Wikipedia for.
It's probably better than 95% of the world that, is getting dumber every day,
that 95% of the shit that you hear in mainstream media is just bullshit anyway.
Yeah. It's filler. It's all useless filler just to keep us all complacent.
The stuff sometimes Wikipedia is maybe like the dumbest shit ever, but at least I'm learning something.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not all super reliable, but I mean, most of it now is, you got the footnotes and the endnotes, and you can click on the links to have actual...
Not just Wikipedia, but just Google itself. I mean, you want to know something about any country or about any situation. Like the other day, I wanted to know exactly about Chernobyl. What the fuck, happened, and when did it happen, and where exactly it was. And I didn't even know exactly where it was. So, check it out, go on the map, where's Chernobyl? Oh, there it is. It's surrounded by this. And I started reading up on it, on their websites, of pictures and stuff. I'm all about pictures. Show me some pictures. And then what was it? I did the same thing for, I forget. Jesus. I totally forget. I was going to talk about something else. Chernobyl. No, totally forget.
But there's a great website. Did I ever mention listverse.com? I told you about that one. It's listverse as in like universe, listverse, one word.com. And I love top 10 lists.
Yeah, that's the best.
And it's all top 10 lists, and they have all kinds of stuff from the bizarre to the mysteries, paranormal. Sometimes it's just, stats about, or whatever the case may be. So it could be like the 10 weirdest breeding habits of animals, the 10 most abandoned cities, whatever.
Yeah, that's kind of stuff. And
you get random stuff, and you've always got usually 2 or 3 lists per day. And I just learned so much random stuff about whatever, anything.
I have a few blogs like that, like a lot of top 10 stuff.
Yeah,
like top 10 abandoned cities, top 10 abandoned mansions.
Yeah, I love that. Like that's what I mean. Like I love those abandoned cities and stuff. Like you read about cities in China that have been built and just basically abandoned, and then most haunted places and things like that, man. And urban legends and things like that. So it's cool. You learn something, and some of it's heavy, some of it's light, but
some of it is just either culture or society. It's not necessarily something important, but it makes your brain. It gives you something to be like, fuck yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah. Or it makes me feel good,
Yeah, and next time you have a trivia night with your friends, you might be the winner.
Makes you smart.
It makes you that much smarter. I heard there's a bar in Montreal that's doing trivia nights now. I'm thinking of maybe...
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's a pretty good idea, actually.
Yeah, I never think about that, especially like on a weeknight, Monday, Wednesday. It's quiet. Let's do trivia. Yeah, that's exactly it. You can 10 seconds, no Googling. But but Listverse is one of my favorite sites. If you've never heard of it,
I'll check it out.
Listverse.com. If you've never checked it out, it's definitely worth it. And it's pretty old, so for somebody like you who's never been on, like you could spend days on it just reading through all the old lists. And they got lots of pictures. You mentioned pictures.
Yeah,
they've got pictures usually for everything, so it's really cool. We're checking it out.
Listverse.com. Check it out. I'll check it out. Definitely check it out. I wanted to talk to you about something that before the podcast, I was gonna say, you know what, I'll keep it for the podcast because I kind of want to. You pimped out listfirst.com, and a great friend of mine, Jack from that I train with, great friend that I've met through the gym. He, a French guy from France, a really nice guy, and very knowledgeable guy on any subject, and. He's really good in technology and stuff. He uses it a lot for his business and stuff. And he has all Mac products at home, and he's got like a mini server, and he's got a bunch of stuff he's telling me. Like if he's got a MacBook and he's got an iMac and he's got this and that. And I was telling him, I don't know, I probably didn't talk about this on a podcast, but last week when we did a podcast, I was trying to load the video and stuff, and then it wasn't working. I was like, what the fuck? I'd been having trouble with my iMac because it was almost full. I have 500 gigs on my iMac, and it was getting full. I had like 20 gigs left, and I thought it was enough, and I've never, ever since, here's the issue. The only downside about a Mac is that when you were with Windows, you're always watching out for like, do I have enough space? And it's like, this thing freezes. I got to download this antivirus and this malware shit, and I got to run it 18 times a day to make sure my computer's clean. Well, guess what? You buy a Mac, that whole dynamic just gets out. It's
you
out.
Completely forget about it. Yeah.
I bought this in 2010. I don't even think I turned it off ever since. And I've never run anything. It's just worked perfectly until now. And it was acting slow, and it was working hard. And I was like, and by working hard, I mean, it was heating up and stuff. And I was like, what the fuck? And I started like reading up, and I was, fuck, man, I only had like 20 gigs left. And I was like, fuck, I got to find some space. And I was trying to delete stuff, and I knew that the podcast stuff that I was saving was taking a lot of space. But I'm like, where's all this other space? I have 500 gigabytes, have about a few thousand pictures, but that can't take that much space. I know I have a few videos from my son when he was small, but I'm like, fuck, man. There's like 300, there's at least 200 gigabytes that's unaccounted for that I don't know what the fuck. And that's counting, if I account for like all my softwares, everything, you know? So I started doing research how to clean it up, and week to week I would clean it up. I would clean about 40, just enough so I could load videos every week after week, But last week, man, iVideo wouldn't load the video because there wasn't enough space on my startup drive. Okay. So I was like, fuck, man, I really have to find anyway, my buddy of mine, Jack, he said, actually he directed me after I spoke to him about this, but I found this through online. I found this, it's called Disk Inventory X. So for people out there that have an iMac or a MacBook Pro at home and you're going through the same problem as I am, download this free software. It's called, I'm looking at my iMac right now, it's called Disk, D-I-S-K, Inventory X. And it's a little program that you open it up on your computer, and then it goes through your computer. Okay. And then it shows you basically a color-coded thing about everything on your computer and where it's at. So on the left side, you have all your folders and how much space storage is being used. And on the right side, and then in the middle, you have all the color-coded squares. Like if you got a big red square, that means that's the mode. You can click on the square, and then on the right side, you'll have different types of files, like pictures. This is how much of JPEG images you have on the this such and such gigabytes and stuff. And by using that tool,
it's like a defrag on a Windows
type thing. Okay. And by using that tool, I was able to free almost 300 gigabytes on my computer. And you know what? There was one thing that was using 160 gigabytes of space on my computer. What the hell was that? What it was? When I first bought my iMac, I used the mail. There's an app there where it's called iMail, I think, where I'd logged in my Gmail account through it. So I said, I'll use that iMail instead of going on the Gmail website. I didn't really like the Gmail website, but I only used it for a few weeks. And then I said, fuck that. I don't like this program. I'll just go to the Gmail website and use that website. Because I use Gmail. I don't have a personal account. I don't have like an @Videotron account. If I had one, that's what I would use. I would use the iMail account. So during those few weeks that I was using the iMail account, I had sent a PDF file to somebody, and it was a big file. It was a PDF file. It was when I had my t-shirt business, And for some reason, I don't know if the email didn't get delivered, so it just kept resending the email day after day after day after day after day.
Okay.
And I didn't realize it, so it would always save a copy of that email.
Fuck.
There was 160 gigabytes of the same email, and because
wow.
it had a PDF file of a few hundred megabytes, it took about 100. I deleted 3 folders full of that email in cache, and it freed up 160 gigabytes of space
Disk
on my
inventory
thing.
X.
So disk inventory X.
Nice.
People, if you're using Mac, iMac,
I know what I'm doing when I get home.
Disk Inventory X, it's an amazing tool. It's free. You can donate. So I'd recommend you donate a few bucks if you can. These people, they work on those softwares. They give it out for free, but they ask for donations.
Yeah, man, because I completely relate to that. Because
Uh-huh.
I completely rebooted my computer at a certain point because I said, I don't understand. I mean, everything's running so slow. And a MacBook, like you say, you think it's invincible.
It's
and I've had mine for like
product.
5 years. So
there's no antivirus. There's no malware.
And
Like,
I
what the fuck
rarely
is this?
turn it off. You put it in sleep mode or you just close the flap on the laptop. But at a certain point, it was ridiculous. I said, fuck it, I'm just going to reboot the whole... And I went back to my original OS X that I had, which is old. So now I'm really behind on the OS X.
See,
I've got to
upgraded
get a
to
new
the
copy.
latest version, and Disk Inventory X, it
So I'm
worked.
gonna
I
try
still
that and
use
see
it.
if- 'cause-
And I also bought an external hard drive last week, which I put a lot of the videos, I put a lot of the podcast stuff on it. So I already freed like 100 gigabytes.
Okay.
So I have about 300 gigabytes right now free, and my computer is faster.
Let's download some porn.
Yay! Who downloads porn anymore?
I don't know, man.
With all these free websites.
I know, it's crazy, eh?
Who pays for porn? This is my question. Who still goes there with their credit card? And
I've heard though from people. Actually, I think it was the stand-up comic Aziz Ansari.
Yeah.
He said, and he was having this. This was part of his bit, and he's saying, for those of you who wonder if it's worth paying for porn, it is. And he
that
says,
means the
apparently
people
it's
that
that much better.
Yeah. But they have to, right? Now they have to step it up. You're gonna charge me for porn. It better be the best shit you have out there, because I can have everything I want on.
Well, that's it. So you
Pornhub.com.
really, exactly.
I hear.
I know, me too. I don't really visit from my younger cousins.
Yeah. You know?
Those my teenage cousins are always talking about porn sites.
This is my iPad, or as I call it, my portable. But amazing. And so I spoke to my friend Jack about cleaning up my computer and stuff, because I know I had been talking about him and everything, and he directed me in this other little, because I was telling him on my computer, I was feeling like the top part of my computer was fucking hot. It would work. I'm like, I could hear the fan working, and my hard drive was, because when I was loading up the videos, it would take like 3 hours, and so it's hard drive is constantly turning. Yeah. So he directed me to this little app. It's called SMC Fan Control, and you download it. It's for free. It's free also, and it puts right on the top bar on my iMac. I'm pointing at.
Okay,
my iMac
at
right
the
now.
top of the toolbar. Yeah.
It gives you the temperature of your hard drive and the rotation per minute of your fan. Okay. And you can set the minimum amounts and stuff.
Oh, you can change the settings.
Apparently it can go. He read that you can go take your computer to about 105 degrees. Oh wow. And it can withstand that amount of heat.
Jesus.
So mine is run sometimes at like 70 degrees, so that's pretty high. Like I've never been able to it's never been hot enough where I have to put my hand, I have to take it out. So if it's 100 degrees, it burns. Yeah. It's like 100 degrees, that's boiled water. So imagine if you fucking put your fist in a boiling water.
Yeah, you don't
that's
want that.
hardcore, you know what I mean? So people, if you got iMac products, you got my products, check it out. There's Disk Inventory X and SMC Fan Control. So 2 little things. And talking about, I downloaded the iOS 7. I updated it on my iPhone and on my iPad. Yeah. Good shit so far. Yeah. I mean, I know everybody's going to have something negative to say about it.
Yeah, they always do. Haters.
Fuckers. I like the format. I like how it looks. It's a little bit less aggressive. It's a bit more like it when you go from app to app, it's like more like more like an iMac. More like a computer thing. When you close it, like comes back up, and you get a little bit more function. You got like the built-in flashlight, like I was telling you about, which is, it might sound stupid, but it's finally, you don't have to download an app to use
that's
the
it. And then you gotta go get to the
exactly.
app,
It's
you
like
saved
flip it
in
up. There's a few functions, so I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that have iPhones that are going through the process. It's been available since last Wednesday, I think.
Yeah.
A few days since last week sometimes.
Well, right. I guess they timed it for the release of the new iPhones, right?
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. People lining up stores,
You seen
camping
I
out.
didn't
Yeah,
follow
my
them.
buddy works downtown. Said outside the Mac store downtown, people were camping
For
out
the
the night before
5C, 5S.
for a new plastic pink phone.
There's two ones that came out.
Yeah, they got the
There's
C,
the 5C,
which is
which is
plastic.
just color.
Yeah,
which
it's colored.
is just the
And
color.
it's made of plastic now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it looks
And then
cheap.
there's the 5S, which is an upgrade.
Yeah.
Which is apparently, it's like a 64-bit. It's basically like almost. It's better than some laptops.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
Like you get
I mean, you need that in a phone, but
No, but I use my phone a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's I'm spoiled to the riches because it's like, God damn, it takes 2.5 seconds before this fucking app loads up. Like, I remember bitching about these people, that used to like, geez, give it a few seconds. It's fucking it's the technology.
Yeah.
It's like Louis C.K. bitching
Exactly.
about flying.
yeah.
It's like, give it a few seconds. It's wireless, for Christ's sakes. You know what I mean? Like, you open a website sometimes on my well, it's like, holy fuck. It took 3 seconds to load. Like, why am I paying $140 a month to wait for 3 seconds for my fucking Google to
I
load
know
up?
we've gotten bad. We're impatient. We're lazy. Goddamn technology
Imagine
has ruined us.
in 50 years.
Einstein was right.
Imagine our children. They'd be like, holy fuck, man. Oh, I remember when I was your age, I used to have to wait, 12 seconds for a song to download.
Yeah.
Now you blink and it's in your head.
Exactly. That's it, man.
It's
We're all gonna
built
have the eye chip in our brain.
It's gonna be in your bloodstream, apparently.
In our bloodstream.
I heard that in about 30 to 40 years, they're gonna implement this technology, which is nanobots, which is basically microchips that they'll be able to inject in your bloodstream, and it'll be like the technology will be inside of you. And it'll be like, like 10 years ago, they used to say, when in 50 years, they'll implement like, I remember when I used to work for Sony, they had this crazy commercial about like when PlayStation 2 came out, and they had this crazy commercial about like PlayStation 12 in 50 years. And it was like, it's like basically implanted in your brain, and you just put on these glasses and you're the game. You know what I mean? Back then, you're like, that's fucked up. That'll never happen. But now you're like, you know what? I bought Grand Theft Auto last night, and I'm like, we're not that far off where we'll fucking plug ourselves. It'll be the fucking Matrix. I'm sorry. It'll be like you plug yourself in and you're the game.
Yeah. You remember that game, that movie Brain Scan with Eddie Furlong back in the day, where it was like a virtual reality game that you like, where you're a murderer or whatever the case may be, and
Brain Scan.
Yeah.
I remember Lawnmower Man.
Yeah. Kind of along the same lines, but yeah, it was like a horror video game, which was supposed to be a virtual video game, and then the whole thing is, was it virtual or was it actual reality?
Well, there's a lot of people that talk about that now too.
But that's a cool movie, with an idea that's maybe 20 plus years, I guess, ahead of its time.
But they say
I'm still waiting for a flying car. Talking about technology, where's my flying car, man?
I don't think they're spending any time on it. No, that's why.
That's bullshit, man.
They say that they're close to developing technology that you'll be able to download your consciousness into a computer.
Oh, Jesus.
So then what does that mean? That means you'll live forever. Consciousness, though, a lot of people say it's going to be impossible. Consciousness there's so many factors that it's like, that relate to the consciousness, like the way of who you are. There's way too many factors.
It's going to be like that movie The Cell, where you can plug into somebody's mind. And
is that what that was?
Well, it's kind of, you were basically hooked up to the man's imagination there. The
man,
serial killer that they hooked up to the table with Jennifer Lopez.
Bootylicious, what her name?
Yeah, that was a weird movie.
Yeah, I remember the weirdness about the movie. I don't really remember the.
But yeah, that was the whole thing. She plugged in, and she was like in his thoughts, or because he was unconscious, he was in a coma.
There's already a game right now that is like virtual reality. I don't remember the name right now, but you can buy it with the glasses, right? It's a glasses, and it's like you can like run, and it comes with like a treadmill.
Really?
So you're on this circular treadmill, which is basically a circle which you're locked around, and you can walk on the treadmill and put the goggles on. And if you're like in a war game, You're like running, and so you're holding like this, and you're walking on this treadmill. And as you're walking in the treadmill, you have the glasses on, and you're seeing yourself in this.
Oh wow!
I fucking forget what it is, and you can order it. You can actually order it right now. That thing. I don't know how much it costs, but you can order the treadmill and the virtual. I fucking forget the name, but that's amazing. So you're in your house, you're walking, and so you're basically plugged in to a different reality. You could be in World of Warcraft, or you can be just these games, World of Warcraft by itself. Like, there are people that play that. They get embedded in these games. Like, they become that character. I find that in a way kind of like, I have friends that are gamers, considerably gamers, not like intense gamers, like but they play a lot of games, computer or else. But I don't know, man. I bought Grand Theft Auto last night. I played about an hour and a half last night. Pretty intense. It's, I'll be honest. Right now, it's compared to Grand Theft Auto 4, except for the controls, which I like a little bit better on this one. Visually, I don't see that great of a leap compared to Grand Theft Auto. There's a few things that are better, close-up wise.
I think plug in, play the GTA
Maybe.
4, and then switch it right over. And I
traded it in.
I traded in.
I traded all my games.
What did they give you? 50 cents for it?
Dude, I went to Future Shop and I traded in 6 games. The guy gave me $29.
Oh.
I had FIFA 13, bro.
FIFA 13 in there? And
he gave me $13 for FIFA 13. I had an old SOCON game. The guy gave me $1 for it.
Yeah, well, that's it. My old games, when I figure if I'm only going to get 50 cents or $1, fuck it, I'll keep it.
I had FIFA 10. The guy gave me $1 for it. Are you shitting me, bro?
Really? Who's going to buy FIFA 10,
Grand Theft Auto 4?
Yeah.
See, I got a cramp. God damn it.
Oh.
Grand Theft Auto 4?
Yeah.
Liberty City Stories. So the two
okay, yeah, you got that
pack,
one, yeah.
$3.
Are you serious?
I'm like, what, dude?
Wow.
And I wasn't gonna go like, how much you give me your game? I'll go to EB Games and see what's more expensive.
Yeah.
I had gone on a website that gave me trade-in values.
Yeah.
And Future Shop was the most.
Really?
Yeah, like FIFA 10, FIFA 13. I got $13 on that website. They said you get $13 at Future Shop. You only got like $5 or $8 at EB Games.
Yeah, EB Games, they're not
because they have so much, man. Have you ever been there?
I know.
You want to go get a Modern Warfare game? They got like 28 of them. Like, God damn, everybody trades them in.
That's it. I got screwed into. I bought when I finally got sucked in, I bought Call of Duty. I think it was the Modern Warfare one when everyone was playing it. And I said, fine, I'll fucking get it. I'm like, won't you play online with us? Yeah, because you guys are going to shoot me nonstop and I'm going to die all the time.
Exactly.
And I suck.
There's no fun in that.
So when I felt fine, I'll partake. Nobody wants to play sports games anymore. They all want to play war games. So I played it, but I had the French version of the fucking game.
No
I bought it in French, and it's completely in French.
You can't switch it.
And they wouldn't let me switch it. I said, just switch it for the English one. It's the same value. No, sorry, we can't. You'll have to trade it in, and they'll give you whatever value, and then you have to buy.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So I would have had to pay like an extra $15 to trade it in and get the English one. I said, fuck you guys. And I ended up just selling it back to whoever. I forget where I traded it in, but and I ended up buying some other game instead. Probably a wrestling game or UFC game.
Yeah. See, I had UFC 2010. I got like $3 for it. $1 for it, I think.
$1, yeah.
I was like, fuck, man. Like, what the hell, man? Like, so you pay, it was $60 to a game now. You know what I mean?
Well, at least it's only $60. I remember once upon a time, I
was like
spending over $100
for
80, 90, $100 on some cartridge games there when I had the Nintendo 64. I made the mistake of buying the 64, and cartridge games right away were more expensive than
Are you serious?
disc-based games. There was a few games I spent $100 on, $110 even.
Which one? Remember GoldenEye on Nintendo 64?
Yes.
The best.
It was amazing. I never owned that game because every friend I knew had it, and it was only fun playing multiplayer anyway.
With the 4 screens there?
Oh, man, was that fun. We used to go all out. Because you didn't want to cheat and look at the other guy's screen, so we would put a sheet and tape a sheet onto the screen. And this is back in the day when everyone just had 27-inch TVs, and we would actually tape a blanket on the bottom so we could split screen so that one was playing under the blanket so you couldn't see the other guy's screen. Like, it was intense.
That's a geek shit.
Yeah.
But that was a fun game. Yeah, the last Nintendo console I had was the Super Nintendo. I got the original Nintendo.
See, I had the Genesis. I skipped over the Super Nintendo. I went with the Genesis. Yeah.
I got the original Nintendo for Christmas when it came out, like in 86, 87.
Yeah.
And then I got the Super Nintendo. I still have it here. I plugged it in like a few months ago. Played it.
Play some Mario Kart.
No, you know what? I like the Super Mario games, like number 2, number 3.
Uh-huh.
And then after that, I stopped with the consoles. And then I had like what was that Sega handheld?
The Game Gear.
Game Gear, yeah, with
Back
the
in the day,
Hedgehog game.
Yes. Yeah, my brother had one of those. The Game Gear.
That, and
with the color screen.
I had a Game Boy
nice.
too. I had a Game Boy, and I had the that Sega one.
Yeah, when you compare the Game Gear to the Game Boy, I think the Game Gear was so much better, man.
Big black
stereo speakers. It was big though, but I mean, color screen was awesome.
My buddies kept buying the console. They got the Nintendo 64. Then it was the Nintendo Cube.
That was the GameCube, yeah.
The GameCube.
Yeah.
I had a friend that bought that. It wasn't that much. I was a big Link Zelda fan.
Oh, were you really? Yeah, see, I never got
Super
sucked into those games.
Nintendo. I had the Zelda one. I loved those games.
Yeah.
Loved that game. And then I never bought a Nintendo. I bought a Wii. When me and my girlfriend bought a Wii a few years ago, played like everybody else, Oh, it's fun, yeah.
And then you get fed up.
A few months, I'm like, fuck that. It's been there forever. It's collecting dust. I sold it for like $300.
Oh, wow.
I had a bunch of games, and I had I sold it for like $250.
No.
Yeah. And I paid. I have a Best Buy card. That's my fucking thing. I paid off, and then I'm like, what else can I buy? That's how I buy. My PlayStation 3 is this. This is my second or third PlayStation 3. I get bored of it. I sell it. I'm like, I wish I didn't sell my PlayStation.
Really?
This is the second PlayStation I buy.
I thought you were going to say because the other one's cracked out on you, but no, you sold them and then decided to buy another
I bought, you know what? Back in the day when the Grand Theft Auto San Andreas came out, when it was PlayStation 2 back then.
Yeah.
I bought a PlayStation 2 and that game just to play that game. Played that game, finished it, sold the PlayStation 2. I'm like, I'm not interested anymore. Sold the PlayStation 2. Then I bought PlayStation 3 for Grand Theft Auto 4.
Yeah.
Played that game. Played a few other games, sports game. Got bored of it. Sold it to a buddy at work. Then last year, around Christmas time, they had a special at Best Buy. You can get the NHL game or whatever. Yeah. So I bought it. But I'm like, you know what? I'm going to buy PlayStation 3. I'm going to start gaming just once in a while, Played for a few months, got bored of it. Then I hadn't played anything in forever. Then Grand Theft Auto comes out. I'm like, I gotta fucking go buy it.
Yeah,
I gotta go buy it.
Yeah, it's one of those games. Well, I mean, you could play that one. You could have fun with this game. I think for the next couple of years.
But it's the missions are like, and this one apparently is.
It's so well made. Like I've played a good 8, 9, 10 hours maybe so far this week.
Already?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And hey, I work late. I get to play till 4:30 in the morning and still get 8 hours sleep.
Yeah, true.
So I've got to say the effort they put into this one, whether it's the details, the humor, the acting is actually really good. The storyline so far, the 3 main characters that they've introduced. I've just been introduced to the third one, who's a cracked out meth dealer who lives out in the boonies there.
Yeah.
Oh man, wow! And I remember some actor. I read a quick headline the other day about an actor saying video game acting is becoming like the future for a lot of actors because they're getting good money for this. They spent $250 million to make that game.
Fuck yeah, man.
They made $800 million in sales in the first 24 hours.
That's what I was about to say.
But I mean, this is the game of games. I mean, when it gets a 10 on 10 review and it's called a masterpiece, you can't go wrong by purchasing
$800 million in 24 hours.
24
Put your head. Try to get $60.
That's $60 a piece. Yeah.
$800 million in one day. It means they sold about what? 16 million copies.
Something like that. Yeah. Whatever it is, over 10 million, between 10 and 20 million, if you do quick math.
6,900 million copies, if my math is correct. Try whoever at home calculate it. Is it 16?
Hold on,
is
I
it
got a
16?
On this thing.
All right, let's see how my math
Let's
is.
Figure it out.
It's 800 millions divided by $60 by bones.
Where's my calculator?
16. I say.
See, that's the problem. See, where's the built-in calculator? I got to find it in my menus because it was an app. Yeah, I know. It's somewhere in here. Where's my utility? Oh, there they are. Sorry.
Just Siri it.
Siri. She's a bitch. We don't get along anymore.
Hey, there's a male version on this one.
Is there really?
Look, listen. That's
sexist. 80.
What's 800 million divided by 60?
1.3 with 7 zeros. So that's.
Like the answer is approximately 1.33333 x 10 circumflex 7.
What the fuck does that mean?
It means
that's 13 million, right?
1.3 times 10 to the 7th.
So that's 13 million.
How about you give me a fucking?
I just want the number. Fuck. That's why they make computers. Back in the day, computers were
hear
just
the
to
male
do
voice,
equations
though?
like
Did
this.
you hear the male voice?
Yeah, he sounds like a jerk.
Yeah, he does sound like a jerk. Well, Siri sounded like a bitch. Half the stuff she was like, "Do you want me to check the internet for that?" Dude, I could have Googled it myself.
Yeah,
I'm asking
thanks.
because I thought you could fucking help me, you cunt.
I hate what the Siri thing
you
was that
went-
the restaurants listings and shit wouldn't work.
Really?
I don't know. Does the new one work yet? Can you Google a restaurant? Like, where's the closest Chinese restaurant? Will it tell you? Because with the other one, it would say, oh, it's not available in Canada, I think.
What's the closest Chinese restaurant?
I found 11 Chinese restaurants.
Oh, there you go. So they've updated it. Oh, that's cool. Because, yeah, before you couldn't find restaurants and shit.
It gives you the restaurant where we go on a weekly basis.
Why is there a pet store listed third?
Dude, you want to hear a fucking story?
Oh, we got a new story.
I don't want to pimp out. I won't say the name because I was about to pimp this place out because their food is amazing.
Yeah.
But with the story, I won't.
Okay.
I don't want to defamate them. Great. It's just a joke. I'm sure nothing about it, but I'm still not going to name. We go to this restaurant we discovered a few months ago. It's fucking delicious here in the proximity of here where we live. And my girl, we were sitting down last Sunday eating dinner there, and the waiter, we were sitting against the window, and there was a fucking pregnant cat outside, like roaming around the thing, and the fucking waiter spotted it right away. Oh, look, a pregnant cat right here. And he looked so excited. And my girlfriend's like, God damn, he got so excited for a cat. I'm like, well, you know what? He's probably looking out. He's like, he probably went out back and said, hey, there's a pregnant cat outside.
There's a pregnant cat. You know how many egg rolls? You know how many egg rolls she's carrying inside her?
So sorry for anybody that we're insulting right now, but I just found it was funny.
I don't know. Sometimes I love Chinese food, but sometimes you have an egg roll and you open it up or you taste it and you go, what's that weird taste? And you open it up and you look at certain things. What the fuck is this gray meat or whatever the hell this is supposed to be?
This place is amazing, though.
But,
This
you know,
place is top level Chinese food. The surface is amazing.
real Chinese food?
Real
Stuff.
Real
The
stuff,
real
man.
deal there. Because most Chinese
You go there. I go there just for the dumplings. They serve you the real steamed dumplings
Okay, so you
with
get-
the vinegar, not with that. It's with the fucking vinegar where you put it in. They're fucking amazing. And you order a plate of dumplings. They don't bring you 2 or 3 dumplings.
Yeah.
They bring you 8, 9 dumplings in the plate. They're big, handmade. The guy fucking comes out. The owner of the restaurant comes out every time we're there. He comes to our table. Hey, how's it going? We started talking. He said he makes 300 every day, every morning. He comes into work. He makes about 300 dumplings every day. It's amazing. The place is amazing. I'm not gonna say the name anymore, but it's a great place. Maybe they'll fucking sponsor us one day.
Maybe.
Well, I think we gotta wrap this up because my girlfriend's gonna be home soon.
Yeah.
We've been going on for another hour and a half, and shit takes a long time to edit and stuff. So I want to go 2 hours. So that's it.
All right.
We're done. So check us out, www.maverick.net. Check the Facebook page, facebook.com/The Modern Maverick. Check us out on iTunes. That's right, bitches. We're on iTunes. We big time now.
Real deal, bitches.
Podomatic.com. Check us out on that website. It's a podcast. Any sorts of podcasts on that. I forget the name. It's like a listing. Podomatic.com. Check me out on Twitter at Steph Paulin. Check my boy here on Twitter at J-Flynn MTL. And that's it. We out. See you next week for another episode of the Modern Maverick Podcast. See you later.
I'm just getting back from Juarez, Mexico, and I'll tell you something I want you to know. My poor head is aching, it drops and it twirls.